What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Let's go ahead and just dive right into our daily cryptocurrency content and analysis for today. Sorry for not being online for quite some time. I am in the process of fixing my setup right now with my computer and my microphone. I'm getting a new mic and things of that nature, as well as conferences that I'm going to be attending. I'm going to be talking about some of that soon and some of the conferences you guys can actually attend with me. But let's go ahead and talk about EOS, Bitcoin, and some other trade setups that I'm watching in the market right now for potential breakouts, as we are seeing a very bullish market right now. If we pull up Bitcoin's relative strength index here, you can see here on the one-day chart, we have finally went above that 60 that we've been watching for quite some time now. I'll actually go ahead and make this a little bit bolder for you so you can see what I'm talking about. But you can see how we've actually went right back above 60, which is a level we've been watching for quite some time, knowing that any level over 60 is bullish. This is a very healthy sign for this market. Not only that, if you actually go on this one-day chart and actually zoom out a little bit, even on the one-week chart is actually a better way to look at it, you can see it looks like we might have an inverse head and shoulder forming here, which would be extremely bullish for Bitcoin in the long term, knowing that on the weekly chart, that's an extremely strong chart there. And if you don't know what an inverse head and shoulder is, I'll actually show you exactly what that looks like here. It's pretty much a breakout pattern in which you have these necklines that form on top, where that's the resistance that you're facing, and you have a left and right shoulder, where at that right shoulder on the right hand side, you see where that breakout occurs. And that is a very possible scenario here for Bitcoin. If we're going to actually go ahead and look at this chart a little bit more in depth, you can see here a clear overview of what that head and shoulder could look like right here, with the neckline forming right around 9,800. It's pretty much where we saw our Bitcoin price peak out recently, and obviously we saw a little bit of that consolidation to form the finalization of that shoulder. So that's going to be an exciting thing to watch here. And you can also see here with the RSI, even on this one-day chart, knowing that we dipped below, it just wasn't able to stay that low. It went right back up to these bullish levels. And then when we look at some of these other major coins like Litecoin, they're also forming these extremely bullish patterns. This right here, a beautiful rounding bottom, which as we know is a breakout pattern as well. If you don't know what a rounding bottom looks like, you can actually look at this right here. By the way, this is our Discord. It's a free resource. The link is in the description. We're actually going to be transitioning this into an awesome platform with analysts and things of that nature, with premium education, coin reports, VIP chats, and stuff like that. So it's going to be awesome. If you guys are not on our Discord, link is in the description. But this is the rounding bottom that I'm actually watching here with Litecoin. Very excited to see where this one heads as well. So let's take some questions from the live audience. Who do we have on live today? Is my mic working fine today? Let's see. Drew Talati says, buy XDN. Everybody's just shouting out their coins that they probably have the majority of their portfolio in, so they could get their coins up. Bread Efley said, sold my EOS at $22. Hopefully it wasn't a mistake. Oh, we're going to talk about EOS really soon, transitioning to their mainnet in June. That's going to be a big deal. Understand that whenever a coin launches a mainnet, it brings the intrinsic value a lot higher because now they have actual use case, right? So Brandon Kumit says, ICX analysis, please. We will take some requests soon. Somebody says, bro, credits, CS. What about credits, Wesley? There's no question. Dane Curry says, sell EOS. Everybody's saying to sell EOS. Well, we're going to talk about trailing stop losses and how that could help out with coins like EOS when they see all this exuberance. If you don't know what a trailing stop loss is, it's pretty much a stop loss that will trail the price up. And then if the price starts to drop any sort of levels beyond what your trailing stop loss is set at, it will sell that for you so you can initiate your profits. And something that EOS is following here, you can see how it forms these bull flags along the way up. If you don't know what a bull flag is, it's pretty much a pennant in which the resistance levels are descending and the support levels are ascending. You can see how it formed multiple pennants, and it's forming another one, right? Look at that. You see this rising resistance level, this descending, rising support, descending resistance. That's a very bullish pattern right now. So this could just very well be another bull flag. And understand why EOS is seeing this exuberance. It is, in my opinion, one of the real competitors to Ethereum. And if you look at Ethereum's market cap right now, market cap in regards to Bitcoin versus altcoins have now hit all-time highs at 27%. That is a big deal. We're starting to see projects come out of the woodwork, projects that people have been excited about for quite some time, coming out and seeing use case. I actually had one of my mentors recently reach out to me, and he was telling me about a project that he's working on. And I've never had a mentor of mine reach out to me about a blockchain project yet, other than Yazan, who had Gibral Network, where he wasn't even really sharing so much of that with me, more so just answering my questions. But my friend Neil Patel, I don't know if you guys know about him. I'll actually show you him. I'm going to show you his project. He's actually hosting a webinar this upcoming May, and I highly recommend you guys check this out. So they're pretty much actually giving away a gold Bitcoin bracelet, a silver Bitcoin bracelets, and 100 Trezor wallets in this webinar. But this is actually one of my mentors. They're doing a free webinar, and I actually reached out to them. I was able to get a sponsorship for all of you guys to go ahead and visit this webinar. I'm going to have the link in the description below, but you can see Neil Patel is going to be speaking at 10:30 a.m. I'm extremely excited to watch this. He's actually building this project called Kind Ads. It's pretty much putting ads on a blockchain, cutting out the middleman. You can check out the website if you want. The link is in the description as well. It's actually already launched. There's already a pretty much MVP, minimal viable product out, and you can actually look at what they're doing here. And he's actually one of the #1 marketers in the world, and he's a mentor of mine. And you know, I've been to conferences watching him speak, so I'm going to be extremely excited to watch this summit here on May 4th. I highly recommend you guys get there at Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to put that link in the description. But these projects that are coming out of the woodwork, like Kind Ads, like EOS, right, Brock Pierce and Dan Lerman, I mean, these projects are the ones that we're going to see more intrinsic value build upon. And if you look at EOS's chart here, we'll actually zoom in to this chart here on the 15 and 30 minute here. In the 30-minute chart, you can see that pennant clearly forming here. So that's an indicator of another potential breakout, and you're starting to see that strength here, finding support right along the ascending support level. So we can very much still see some further highs here for EOS. And a matter of fact, this run up here for EOS is very similar to what we saw with Bitcoin USD here in December. And what's interesting is if we were to compare these two run ups, what you'll notice is right now with EOS, we could very well only be seeing this aspect of the run up right now. There could very well be a lot more exuberance left for EOS. However, the question is, how do you play this properly without risking too much, right? The best way, in my opinion, to play any sort of exuberance is, number one, have long-term holds set up, right? For me personally, I have an EOS portfolio that I'm not ever going to touch no matter what, because I've decided to invest in this project for the long term. So that's a holding that I will not give up no matter what, regardless of how high or how low it goes, because I believe in it intrinsically. But for your swing traders that love to get profits in and out of coins, entry and exits, the best possible way to play this, in my opinion, and there are many different ways to do it, this isn't the one and be all correct way, but it's to set up trailing stop losses. There's actually a program called 3 Commas. I'm going to actually show you that right now, and I'll put the link in the description for 3 Commas as well. But 3 Commas pretty much allows you to set up trailing stop losses and trailing take profits consecutively for exchanges like Bitfinex, Binance, Bittrex, KuCoin, and all of these other exchanges. And if you don't know how to do that, just click video guide, and there's an awesome guide on how to do this. And I would highly recommend using a program like that or any other program that allows you to set up these trailing stop losses, because what this means is, as EOS is going up, let's say you did get a position in very early on. Let's say you got a position right around, you know, let's say 100 or 16,400 Satoshis, and now it's all the way up to 21,000 Satoshis. You could set up that trailing stop loss to be right around 19,000 Satoshis, for example, under the Fibonacci retracement, where you know there's potential support, so that if it does start to correct, you're able to exit before a major correction, like we saw with Ripple and Bitcoin already when they saw their exuberance. So understand with Bitcoin, like when I got out of Bitcoin, it was around 18,500, and I never saw any lower price levels. I didn't lose much money because of the fact that I had trailing stop losses set up, knowing that Bitcoin saw this huge amount of exuberance. So hopefully that helps out. Russ McLannon says, so funny that John Oliver was dissing EOS in particular a couple months ago. EOS is a great project, in my opinion. I mean, you understand that the founder of, or the co-founder of BitShares is involved with it, and the co-founder of Steam. I mean, these are some of the most successful use cases of blockchain technology. So EOS is just another revolution of their technology and their projects that they're looking to produce here. Acri says, is there a cup and handle forming on XRP from beginning of March till today? We can definitely check that out. Hopefully that helped out with EOS. Did that help out? Yes or no? Art said, yep, Dan. So let's take a look at XRP and see what's happening here. So looking at this chart, you can see we've obviously got a little bit of that consolidation occurring right now at these higher highs, and this is in comparison to what we saw back here from that major correction. And if we were actually go on this one-day chart first, we can actually take a look at this RSI. Very, very, very bullish here. Look at that. We're actually bouncing off of around 55, which is in the neutral zone right before this bullish area, but we can very well enter this bullish area knowing that we've finally found some support right along that level. What I would be watching at this point is this very, very known support level here with this RSI, which was previous resistance right around 54. And if you can watch that level, in my opinion, if it starts to head down, that could be forming a mountain, which pretty much means it's going to head down, but it could very well start to head right back up, bounce off 57 into that 60. And that's what I would be watching here for a coin like XRP. Knowing XRP is starting to get all of these great partnerships under its belt, it's really becoming more of an intrinsically valuable coin than ever before, right? At first, they were so targeted on banking institutions, but now they're working with companies like Apple and Walmart. And to me, that's a big deal, right? They weren't really working with these type of companies a year ago, whereas now they are partnered with MoneyGram and things of that nature. So fundamentally, I think that Ripple does have some potential at this point. And you can also see that we have pretty much found its bottom, starting this reversal here and that uptrend like the majority of the coins in the market. So somebody says credits will give higher ROI than EOS at this price. Danger close. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Understand with the market. You can check here. Here are some of the coins that I'm watching right now personally in the market. I've got a lot of them highlighted here. And these are some of the coins that have not yet seen the exuberance that the majority of the market has seen. So Litecoin, number one, like we talked about, forming that beautiful rounding bottom. Definitely a coin to watch right now. I think Litecoin definitely has that potential, especially in the next couple of weeks. Ripple, only down negative 1.7% after that huge amount of exuberance, which is extremely bullish, knowing that it's able to maintain its number 3 spot. I think that's going to be interesting. I have a feeling EOS is going to catch up to Bitcoin Cash, just to be quite frank with you. So understand that there's also an analysis that can be done based upon market caps, right? So EOS, you have to ask yourself, well, if it's got $4 billion in volume, surpassing all of these coins right now, does it deserve a spot in number 4 or number 3? Very well could be, right? So if market cap's only at 16 billion right now, it wouldn't be surprising to see another 10 billion come into EOS, allowing it to go ahead and take Bitcoin Cash's spot, and then even possibly taking Ripple's spot. Now, in order to take Ethereum spot, I think that would take a lot more use case, because a lot of this speculative value for EOS is all based upon speculation. It's not necessarily use case yet, right? They haven't even launched their mainnet yet. But there's high speculative value for it right now, which is a way to make a lot of money, but also lose a lot of money if you don't set up those trailing stop losses. So I highly recommend doing that. And so other than that, IOTA and Monero, both great, or actually Monero being a great project. IOTA, in my opinion, I've never been a fan of because of the Tangle network and how they built that themselves, whereas it's kind of, you know, it's not typically normal to do that in this sphere. You want to typically use something that's approved by MIT, you know, SHA-256 or something like that. But both of them are extremely down right now. IOTA recently had a partnership with a electronic car company, which was interesting to see their use case involved with that. So that was interesting to see. I mean, I'm still not really a fan of it. I don't hold IOTA, but it's cool to know that they're doing that. Monero for sure. I mean, an awesome privacy coin, down 7% right now. And then if we go down, you can see Verge. Obviously, we've been talking about Verge. I am still expecting a huge bull run for Verge soon, knowing that it's completely oversold right now. You can even go into the RSI. Let's pull up Verge's technical analysis, because it's actually interesting. I think it's at 40 right now, which is a very low RSI level, especially in the market that we're in right now. And knowing that we've got a buyer's market, I'm very, very bullish on this at this point. You can see we pretty much found bottom here right around 640 Satoshis, and then we bounced off of that, forming a little bit of that reversal there. And now if we actually zoom into this 1-hour chart, you can see we're starting to see that consolidation. But what's interesting is most people aren't realizing this, but we've got some ascending support levels forming and some descending resistance levels forming that pennant, and we're getting tighter and tighter along that pennant. If you don't know what a pennant is, once again, kind of like what I said, a descending resistance level and an ascending support level, and there's typically a breakout at the apex of the pennant, which is the end of the pennant. So XVG looking extremely bullish in my opinion, and you can also argue that we've got an ascending triangle forming here too, right? So if we were to actually draw a triangle, you can see here, it even looks like a triangle pattern is forming here, where you've got these 3 levels here. Actually, we'll draw this pretty much like that. And, oh, did I do that wrong? I did that wrong. Let me just draw it out with my line tool. So you can see here, I've also got that ascending triangle forming on a larger time frame. Very, very bullish levels for Verge in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens and when Verge breaks out. I am still holding my Verge at these lower levels so I can take advantage of this. And I also am going to be doing the interview soon. I know somebody asked me about that recently. So we're going to be doing the interview with the CEO of Verge, and that was delayed just a little bit, but we still have all of those questions saved, and we're going to be asking him those questions if you guys aren't aware of that. Sushi Temp says, do you think Electroneum is dead? No, they just had a major announcement. I don't think Electroneum is dead. I think that they're just going to take a little bit more time to settle in, but I still have my bags of Electroneum. I'm very bullish on that long term. Steven says, NCASH forming ascending triangle on 1 hour chart. Can you confirm? Yeah, let's do it. Why don't we confirm some trades? So NCASH, let's see here. Doesn't look like an ascending triangle, or, you know, I guess you could consider that an ascending triangle on a shorter time frame. So you do have somewhat of a rising support level. You do have these equal resistance levels. So that is forming an ascending triangle there. This actually does look like a good setup. Wow, let's actually pull up this 1 day chart. Yeah, this actually does look really good. Oh yeah, that does look good. Bouncing off of neutral RSI zones, heading back up. If this passes the resistance right here, I would definitely put a position into NCASH. Watch this RSI. If it surpasses 54, heads into that 55 range, that's very bullish there. It's going to definitely start heading up, and we could possibly see that test these bullish zones above 60. So I'd be watching the RSI there. MACD is also looking good, starting to curve. We got rid of all the sellers on the 1 day, so that's a good thing. That curve right there is going to initiate that price breakout. Let's go on a 4 hour and see if that can confirm what we're seeing. Starting to see a little bit of that more buyer sentiment there with this positive divergence. So, yep, very, very bullish here for NCASH. So I would definitely keep watch of that. So you've got that ascending support level forming that positive divergence alongside with ascending triangle with bullish RSI setups. You can't go wrong with that. So the whole market's looking bullish, guys. This is exciting. Oliver Holger says, please check NEO. Let's do NEO. Let's see what's going on here with NEO. Saw a little bit of that huge run up. We talked about NEO for the past couple of weeks. We knew it was going to see a breakout soon. It was completely oversold. Right now you can see we're seeing that large state of exuberance. Looks like we have quite a bit of way to go. So if you do want to make some quick profits, I'm sure this RSI is definitely going to go ahead and pass 70. So looks like we do have some room to go. And then I would start taking profits right around that 77, and then maybe even set up a dollar cost averaging strategy up from 77 to 84, knowing that these are the two resistance levels for the RSI. So very, very good setup here as well. We can see here, bam, MACD crossover. Look at that. Fast length went right under the slow length and then crossed right back over. Very, very bullish here. Went up, went right back up. So very bullish here with NEO. Looks like it has a long way to go. So understand NEO is also a blockchain application platform. So it's also a competitor to Ethereum, right? And that will eventually translate as a competitor to EOS as well. So interesting, right? Let's take some more requests, man. We're killing it here. You're very welcome, Oliver. Says thank you. David says, if you read this, look up BAT and WAX. Let's do BAT real quick. Basic attention token. Let's see if we've got a setup here. Looks like we're forming a little bit of a flag here after some known exuberance. I wouldn't trade this. Way too high in RSI in my opinion right now. So this one already saw its run up. Kevin Barber says Tron. Let's do Tron BTC. Let's see what's going on with Tron here. Definitely showing some exuberance. RSI way too high in my opinion, approaching known resistance levels. So if you've got your bags of Tron, wait for this RSI to head up to these known resistance levels. Start getting those profits. I don't like looking at trades with over 70 RSI. It's way too exuberant for me, especially on a 1 day chart. I mean, that just screams potential danger. Unless you're setting up trailing stop losses. Look at EOS. Look how far that is above all of its RSI levels. So obviously a huge amount of exuberance there. Somebody says WanChain, Chad Phillip. Let's do WanChain here. Bouncing off of, nope, just headed back down. So a little bit too high there. Let's look at something that doesn't have a high RSI. OMG BTC, OmiseGo, very, very, very beautiful project. This looks a lot better. Look at that. Wow, that is a beautiful, beautiful cup and handle. and we are just in the midst of a breakout. So I think this is going to be the next breakout. Look at that. Bam. Handle forming in the process of a breakout. This is a perfect time to get a position. We already broke resistance levels. Look at that. Oh, man. I'm expecting a big breakout for OMG. I can already tell. I mean, I've seen enough charts in my life. Look at that. MACD bounced right off that fast length. Buyers still in the market. Wow. Let's pull up this 4-hour really quick. Look at that. We've already ascended beyond the known resistance level. Very, very bullish. We retraced a little bit. No big deal. Beautiful, beautiful trade right here. So you've got this ascending support level as well forming. So we're kind of getting more contracted here. I think we'll see a pretty big breakout here. Volume is starting to increase. Look at that. Check this out. Look at this volume. Big, big volume coming in. So just like we saw the volume come in here and then we saw continued breakout, we're going to continue to see more of a breakout in my opinion. If we go to the 4-hour, yep, look at that. We haven't seen that much volume in quite some time. Very, very, very bullish there. Look at that. I think that's the biggest buy volume we've ever seen for OMG. That's extremely bullish. Look at the RSI, not even above 70 yet. That's some good stuff. Look at that. Bounced right off of 60. Still in that bullish zone. Looking great. Gab Can Shimmy says it got pumped by fake giveaway. Vitalik boycotted. Agafeld says, what about XLM? Let's look at XLM. Let's do XLM BTC and check this out. Man, we're getting so many requests. If you want your request taken, like this video. How about that? If we hit 200 likes, we'll continue to take requests. If not, we'll just end the stream here and that's it. It's a give and a get, right? So this is awesome. Look at that. You've got this beautiful rounding bottom forming here. So you've got this descent, right? Actually, let's go ahead and add an arrow to this so that it looks better. Bam. So you've got this descent here, this continued descent. So that rounding bottom is starting to form here. We're going to start seeing resistance soon, in my opinion. We've got a known resistance level right here. If we see resistance, I think that would be the most bullish scenario here. And as a matter of fact, actually, we may not see resistance because look at this. If we actually zoom in here, we've already formed a handle, theoretically, and it may have just been. So understand, with rounding bottoms and cup and handles, the top could also be a little bit slanted. So I'll show you an example of this. Check this out. If we were to Google a rounding bottom pattern, I think I didn't spell that right, you can see it's not always going to be a straight top. There's going to be curves like this one right here. You see how this one is slightly slanted? So it's the same thing that we're seeing right now with this chart here. So you see how there's always a slight slant? So we'll pull up another example here just so that you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. But anytime you see a rounding bottom of a cup and handle, the top could be slanted, and that's completely normal. Sometimes it's actually more bullish, right? With the head and shoulder, sometimes you want the left or right shoulder to be higher or lower than the other shoulder. And so having that correlation is extremely important. But yeah, I mean, these are all different examples of rounding bottoms. So knowing that we are slanted and we are seeing this rounding bottom, in my opinion, this handle already formed. We are in the mode of breakout. So I think we're going to definitely see some further highs. Knowing Stellar fundamentally as a project is a great project. We have a lot of room to go here with the RSI. Still looks a little bit overbought, but at the same time, the pattern is confirming that we're still heading up and seeing higher price levels. I definitely think there's still more profit to squeeze out here. So, you know, RSI is a bit high. I think that you'd have a better chance of getting more profits with a coin like OMG, because OMG, if you go back to it, you see with OMG, not as overbought yet. So try to get the coins that aren't as overbought. You're very welcome, Aga. Russ McLennan said hit the like button. We're at 154. You guys sure? Somebody says, are you going to be at the webinar? Yes, I'm going to be at the webinar. You guys better be at this webinar. My mentor, Neil Patel, is going to be there. If you're not there, that's fake. This is going to be the webinar. So I highly recommend you guys come. I'll actually put the link in the description right now. So I'm going to put webinar May 4th. All right, I just put that in the description. So I definitely want to see you guys there. And it's going to be exciting. They're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies, giving away 100 Trezor wallets and a gold Bitcoin bracelet. Isn't that awesome? Ayad Al-Kimriya said, how far could XLM go? Good question. Well, knowing XLM, let's go ahead and pull up a Bittrex chart because we have more history. You can see how we've had some pretty high highs here in the historic sense, peaking out right around 6,339 Satoshis per XLM coin. And you can see how we're forming this beautiful rounding bottom like we talked about. We're now seeing the breakout to the surrounding bottom. The next known resistance is really going to be 5683. We'll do a Fibonacci retracement. If you guys don't know, Fibonacci retracements help you with support and resistance levels. And we'll just do it to what we've seen so far here with this breakout. So look at that. We've also entered the 0.618. So look at that. I would get a position in Stellar right now. We've already crossed the 0.618. That's extremely bullish, and that means that we'll most likely go at least up to around 54,060 Satoshis, and then we might see a little bit of consolidation. But if that does happen, it's actually going to confirm the larger cup and handle. So this is the larger cup and handle that we're actually seeing here. So there's also a cup and handle forming where you got the breakout, the cup, and then if it does see resistance at that 0.618, which is very likely, it will form that handle, find resistance on the 0.618, and then possibly see all-time highs. So very, very bullish setup here, in my opinion. I'm liking XLM. So somebody says, Dave's Sydney, what happened to BCC? Let's take a look at BCC. I know we did an alert for BCC. I don't think anything is happening. I think it's just doing what it's supposed to do. Let's go on a 3-hour chart and see here. All right. Nothing's happened so far. It's just consolidating. But you've got this beautiful, beautiful formation here. These rising support levels, these descending resistance levels. So remember, very bullish setup. I still see some, looks like we'll see some higher highs here with Bitcoin Cash, knowing that it's consolidating quite well at these higher levels. Anytime you see exuberance, you want to find consolidation for accumulation. It's very important. Mark says, do you think we're going to have another leg down soon? I just don't see it. The whole market's showing bullish setups. I'm not seeing another leg down. There's not really much more of a worry for me, knowing that we've surpassed the 9,000 mark. We've found support. We're gaining accumulation. I think that we're well on our way past 10,000. You know, that's just my opinion. Everything is just matching up with that opinion too, fundamentally and technically. James Zhang says, Naeem, can we do BNB? Let's do BNB, brother. Let's do BNB. Let's check out what's happening here with BNB. Oh, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ascending triangle. Look at that, baby. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Woo! You've got the... you've got the rising support levels, the resistance. If you don't know how an ascending triangle looks like, bam, this is an ascending triangle right here. And it's a very bullish pattern. So I'm expecting some big, big breakouts with BNB soon. BNB and Verge, those are the two coins I'm expecting some breakouts for very soon. And the reason I say that is not only is it forming an ascending triangle in the technical sense, but even on a fundamental sense. I mean, they're going to be burning coins every quarter, and just knowing that the intrinsic value of BNB is just going to continue to go up. I mean, they recently added that dust feature. Are you guys enjoying that dust feature? What do you guys think? Yes or no? Do you guys enjoy that dust feature? I love it. I think that's huge. You know, that brings more intrinsic value to their coin. We obviously saw a reversal here from this drop, so we're in an uptrend, and in my opinion, yeah, look, people are saying I love the dust feature. So I'm telling you, I mean, intrinsically, this coin is going to be used more and more. RSI, look how bullish this RSI looks. You got this positive divergence forming here with extreme peakness. That means it's extremely sharp. Like, that's an amazing setup here. MACD about to cross over right now as we speak. We got rid of all the buyers or all the sellers already. So the sellers are pretty much exhausted. Now that the sellers are exhausted, we're seeing this MACD starting to curve. Everything's looking bullish. in this setup. So very excited for BNB and OMG and Verge so far. Somebody says, can only hear half of it. What do you mean? There shouldn't be any lag. Everything should be good to go. Somebody says, Zilliqa breakout. Yeah, we called out the Zilliqa breakout. Let's do a Zilliqa technical analysis here. And then unless we hit 200 likes, we're going to end the video after this technical analysis because I have to go. I have a lot of work to do. We're setting up the Discord right now. It's going to be amazing. Check this out. Just to give you guys a sneak peek here. We're going to have premium education here. Awesome stuff posted daily. We're going to have coin reports, quick tips, short-term targets. I mean, look at these targets here. I mean, isn't this just awesome? You've got all these great targets here. I think like today, I mean, look at this MTL. Pull up the interactive chart here. Look at this breakout. Look at this breakout we called. Bam! I'm telling you, you guys are sleeping on our trade alerts. So we're going to keep this open for now, but we're soon transitioning all of our Patreon members onto this. We got some awesome medium-term setups, Bitcoin analysis, technical analysis, fundamental analysis. We're going to have chats here for educational questions, market speculation, user technical submitted analysis. We're gonna have all these coin chats. This is gonna be sick and awesome. Matthew said past 200 likes, so I got to do another request. All right, let's finish Zilliqa though. Zilliqa heading to all-time high levels. In my opinion, you should already have your position in Zilliqa because at this point we've got all this room to go here with RSI. It's definitely overbought, but when a coin has exuberance like this, based on fundamental analysis, you just can't predict the magnitude, right? You have to just have those trailing stop losses set up. It's the safest way to play these bets. But, you know, to do a technical analysis here would be, I wouldn't say redundant, but, you know, on the 3 hour, we're forming this cup and handle. That's for sure. Look at that. Bam. Poised for a whole nother breakout. So these fractal patterns are awesome. I love these fractal patterns. Very, very predictable. And it looks like we're well on our way. If you want to buy this breakout, what I would do is wait for it to pass 1,191 Satoshis to confirm the breakout, and then go ahead and initiate position from there. If you look at the risk and reward setup here, it's awesome. I mean, you've barely got any risk here. You've got this known support here, right around 1,116, and you've got the moon of upside. So I think that's a great setup there. Somebody says, your WhatsApp chat is loud AF. Sorry about that. Freeman's Cryptoverse says, your iNet work. Joe says, ADA and VEN. Let's do ADA BTC. Let's see what's going on here. We just got a super chat. Somebody says, credits is legit, bro. Wesley, credits is one of the more speculative projects about like for example, this project here, like kind ads, I know I know Neil Patel, so I know this is a great project. Like they already have use case, they have a minimal viable product out. I know that's legit. A project like credits, you know, it's hard to tell. Like the best thing to do is look at the team, right? Like who's involved. Like understanding you've got the CEO of, I mean, look at that, cryptovest.com, CEO of Polymath involved in this, Neil Patel, right? Like that's legit in my opinion. That's the type of stuff you want to see. When you see, it's like, you know, it's like a prominent figure having a project, you just can't go wrong. That's why the Telegram ICO raised so much money for no reason. Somebody says, Dropo big things coming. Dropil. Is that even a coin? Dropil? I don't think that's a coin. Well, let's look at ADA because ADA is interesting. You can see if we pull up this 1 day, we're forming, wow, look at that. Check this rounding bottom out, how that broke out. Remember that rounding bottom we talked about? Look at that. Rounding bottom, resistance, handle, and breakout. So that's what we're expecting for Litecoin soon. But with ADA, I mean, I think that there's better trade setups. I think like OMG, for example, would be a better trade setup right now, or even BNB. But I still think we have a little bit more ways to go, knowing that the highest this RSI has been in the past is around 87. We're already in the bullish zones. We're already overbought. you know, there's still that potential. We just bounced off this slow length. We have all this room to go with MACD. So, I still expect further highs for a coin like this. But the question is, how do you play this, right? And trailing stop losses is the best way to play something like this, in my opinion. Jamal said, let's get 300 likes, people. You Demand says, I love round bottoms. Stevens Lalaman says, hello. Randy says, PPT, please. Dijon says, I've been on a deserted island for half a year. How is my BitConnect investment looking? Man, I love Carlos. Seems like he's such an honest dude. To the moon. That's hilarious. Balkenbergen. Didn't we already do ETH? I'm pretty sure we did ETH, right? Did we do ETH USD? We didn't do ETH USD. All right, let's take a look at ETH USD. Wow. This is actually looking really good. Check this formation. Look at that. We've got this beautiful rounding bottom here. There's going to be a big breakout for Ethereum soon. Man, the whole market's looking good. Look at that. Rounding bottom. Resistance, handle, breakout. How do you play this? Well, this is how you play this. We know where the resistance level is at, right? So the resistance is right here at 736 US dollars. We're currently sitting right around 600, and we're forming this handle. At this point, honestly, I mean, you can start dollar cost averaging your position into Ethereum, in my opinion. It's looking really bullish here. Look at that. That's what, 3%. So if you were to buy the breakout, you'd only be risking 3%. This is a very nice setup, in my opinion. So I'm telling you, the market's going to $1 trillion, and we're going to see all-time highs soon. And the difference is this time we're going to see it with more altcoins than just Bitcoin, and that's my opinion. Diego says, look it up as drop. Drop. He wants to do drop. DROP-BTC. It's not pulling up, man. Sorry about that. It's not pulling up. So Bellman says, bull run is coming. Yes, the market's looking great. So any questions before we wrap things up? Let's see if we can find some good questions here before we wrap this baby up. Liam says, EOS is going to take BCH by the end of this week. I believe EOS should be ahead of Bitcoin Cash. Andrew Saldino says, can you do VEN, please? Is it a good time to sell? Time to add to my position? Let's do VEN. BTC. Them and their Thor network. I wouldn't sell just yet. No, look at that. RSI has not yet become overbought. There's still some room to go here. MACD just had a crossover. We've got really no resistance levels up until 61,000 Satoshis, in which we're currently right around 50,000. So I wouldn't say it's a time to sell. I think this is a time to hold. If you go on a 3-hour chart, you can see we're starting to see an increase in volume. So very bullish setup here for VEN. I wouldn't say it's the time to sell, Andrew. I would say that we have a long way to go in this market. At least in the short term, things are looking very bullish, and in the long term as well, knowing the fundamental aspects. Ronan Ryan says, do you think Litecoin is due for a major breakout? I'm aware of the trade alert, but it seems to have been sleeping for quite some time. Yes, Ronan, I do think Litecoin is due for a major breakout. It's forming a very nice rounding bottom. And let me show you. Check this out. So this is the rounding bottom for Litecoin, right? And then, so check this out. So you've got this beautiful rounding bottom here for Litecoin. You can even call that like a cup and handle. The same thing, right? And then this is the result. So this is ADA. Look at that. That's the result of what a rounding bottom is going to do. So once that rounding bottom completes itself, So once that rounding bottom completes itself, breakout. So I'm expecting very similar price action here with Litecoin as well. Somebody says, anyone here like to answer if EOS was said to buy or not? Help. EOS, we talked about EOS. What you want to do with EOS is set up trailing stop losses. This could very well just be a short aspect of its real bull run that's to come, right? This could be the equivalent of this run up that we saw with Bitcoin that eventually turned into the major run up, right? This right here could be the depiction of what we're seeing right now. So don't be fooled by all-time highs, right? You never can determine the magnitude, but you have to be able to play it correctly. And the way you play it correctly is by setting up trailing stop losses. Jake says, you never talk about QTUM. Well, I'm not going to talk about it even more that you mentioned that I don't talk about it. You have to be polite, brother. Joseph says QTUM will rise, right? Alamandi says, did he talk about TRX? Man, people are getting rude now. Now that people are getting rude, we might have to just end this. Crypto Maestro says, let's give Naeem 300 likes before he goes. Let's show him support, guys. Yes, thank you. Mark Norman says, awesome, thanks. I will educate myself more on stop loss. Wahid says, Neo, please. We did Neo. Neo is due for a nice run up. It's another blockchain application platform against Ethereum. Great project. Somebody says, signed up, loving the Discord. Thank you, Daniel. Awesome. Yes, that should be completed soon. I'm still handling some stuff with getting those roles set up, but once that's done, we'll be set. Mohammed Ibrahim said, Bitcoin beard at 300 likes. What are we at right now? 277? I don't know about that. That's way too close. I'll do it for 400. SXC Fitness NY says, Discord is amazing. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yes, we're going to be making this thing the best community in the world. We're going to have so much value there. I'm hiring some new analysts. By the way, I'm hiring analysts. So if you're an analyst, you know technical analysis, and you're the type of person that would like to get on our Discord and post technical analysis, we do have a hiring event coming soon. All you need to do is prove to me that you can predict breakouts, and you need to have an 8 out of a 10 score, which means 8 trades go right out of 10, which I think is reasonable if you're, if you're trying. And I mean, we'll talk about the process, but if you are a technical analyst, send me a message and we'll go. Art says, I'm an analyst of food. But yeah, I am looking to hire more analysts. God's servant says, great work as always, my brother. Thank you, brother. God bless you. Sunday, right? I just looked at my watch that I don't have on. SXC finishes, lifetime membership is a win and win for both of us. Sergio says, where can we learn technical analysis? Well, we're actually doing a premium education channel here on our Discord. It's going to be a new channel here. We're going to post very frequently premium education. So here's like a lot of different ways to get better at trading, right? So this is going to be available for the sapphires and above. Actually, this is going to be for rubies and above, and then sapphires and above are going to be getting coin reports, which are pretty much like reports of different coins. Like, for example, everybody's investing in Icon, but do you really know what Icon is? Like, do you understand what Icon, like, do you know what the co-founder did prior to his role at Icon? Like, no, most people don't, right? But you need to understand stuff like that if you're investing. You know, coming from traditional markets, if you were to make an investment in a traditional market, you know everything about that company, right? So Jamal says, I'll be becoming a Patreon when my next paycheck arrives. Awesome. Well, at least do it before we raise the prices, because if you already have a membership, then we won't raise your price. But once we release the Discord, we are going to be raising prices because, I mean, we're going to be, you know, hiring a lot of analysts, and we're going to make sure this thing is popping daily so that you guys don't need anything but the Discord to do everything you need. Brandon N, do you have a date? I think it'll be in the next, it'll be soon. I just can't, I don't want to give a specific date. I don't know yet. Andre says, Ethos, sell or buy? Ethos. Why don't we check out Ethos really quick? Just a quick view. Oh, it's not even pulling up here. I forgot the symbol. Screw Ethos. Tony says, thank you for your quality podcast, Naeem. Just keep the good work coming. Thank you, brother. Art says, I'm a Patreon member. Best decision ever. That makes me feel a lot better. Thank you. That is awesome. Thank you, Art. Nice says, what's the word on EOS? We talked about it. Let's see. All right. It looks like we've covered a lot so far. So LaQuante Bush says, love you, man. I love you too, man. Any other questions? Any other questions that you guys want to cover? Here's one. Naeem, I accumulated EOS within the $5 to $8 range. Think now would be a good time to take some profits. Thoughts would be a good buyback level. Great question, Michael. So if I were you with EOS, Michael, and you purchased around $5 or $8, right? So let's do EOS USD since you're trading it against the US dollar. Understand that now that you've seen all of these profits, you have a decision to make. You have to either decide whether or not you want to take profits or you want to hold long term. To be really honest with you, Michael, if I were you, and this isn't financial advice, we don't give financial advice, we give perspectives, right? So if I were you, I would hold the crap out of that. Having a position at such a low cost like that with a coin that has now seen the exuberance that it's seen, you can't go wrong with it, right? It's like if you were to buy XRP at 25 cents when it was just hovering at 25 cents for so long, and then it saw its major rally, even after the correction, it was still a good time to hold, right? If you were to buy Ripple at these prices, no matter what, you're always going to be at a profit. And I think that's a good place to be as a buyer, right? Like it's as a buyer, you want that confidence knowing that I got the best prices ever on this, and I'll hold this for the rest of my life if this ends up being worth $1,000 or only $50, right? Regardless, you're at a profit. So I would just say hold, you know? There's no point of trying to take profits when you've entered a position that early, because that is rare, right? That is unique. That, in my opinion, is a blessing. And you don't want to just, you know, pull the seeds out of the ground that you've planted. And that's what I would say. Silver Goldman says, bad advice. Take profit and only hold a small percentage of initial entry. I don't know about that, Silver Goldman. I think EOS is going to be the biggest blockchain application platform, or at least one of the biggest. So it's like, why don't we talk? So Silver Goldman. So we've got a traditional investor. He probably invests in silver and gold. So you're telling me, Silver Goldman, that if you were to buy gold at $5 and it's worth $500 now, that you wish you would have taken profits along the way, or you would continue to hold your gold, right? Understand that the best way to make money in real estate, and you know, for the majority of the lifetime of our equity markets, is by holding on to investments. Like Warren Buffett is a value investor. He doesn't sell a lot of his holdings because he believes in value investments. So in my opinion, you know, not to bring you down or anything, but I think holding is a great idea if you've got in at that price, right? Like if you got Bitcoin in at less than $1,000, there's no point of selling. Why would you want to sell, right? You know that you've got your position in and you don't ever have to worry about that ever again. So you guys can say whatever you want. If you want to be sellouts, then sell out on your own technology then. All right, now he's going to go off. All right. So we're going to go. Rookie says, love your channel. Just tuned in. Please advise XRP. Buy now or sell. We talked about that. Somebody says, I agree, snipers. Brock Addison says, stop ignoring me. Man, some people are really, really, really narcissist. They think their world revolves around them. They're like, man, this guy's doing a live stream with 400 people. Why is he ignoring me? You need some help, brother. All right. Well, we're done for the day. Now we're getting all the weirdos out. So thank you all for tuning in. And until our next show, I look forward to seeing some of you at this webinar coming up. But thank you all for tuning in. I guess we'll just go from here. Snipers out.